I'm Laura. I'm the purchasing director for the next 3 days anyway. Purchasing objectives. I know you can all read this, but I'm just going to go through it really quick. To provide the county with goods and services needed in the right quality and quantity and on a timely basis as efficiently as possible and at the lowest overall cost. The other two paragraphs are pretty much the repetitive of that. So this is just going to come in one little part at a time, it looks like, rather than page by page. So we are buyers. We uphold the National Institute for Public Procurement Code of Ethics, best practices, and guiding principles. We bridge the gap between our end users, you all, the requesters, and our suppliers or vendors. We serve as a fiduciary steward of county monies. That's important. When you're spending tax dollars, you need to be transparent and responsible. I'm not really sure what this is. Okay, this is going to be the life of a requisition. How many of you actually work in Eden and enter requisitions? Amanda had that look on her face because she always calls me when she needs to enter a requisition. And that's the case with a lot of people. If you don't do it on a daily basis, then you don't necessarily know how to just jump in and do it. But our software for buying is Eden software, and it has a requisition module. When you need something for operations or for your office to operate, you enter a requisition. That is how we start the buying process. It's very important that you get absolute and complete information on that requisition. Very often people call us and they say, I ordered red, I got purple. Well, then we can go back to the requisition and see who messed up. Also, it protects us as far as the vendor. If we need to do a return, if we have absolute information on those requisitions, then, there's no argument. So the requisition eventually is generated into a purchase order, and the purchase order is what we actually issue to the vendor. So if you can get size, quantity, color, how it's packaged, it's important for us to know, do you need one box or do you need one each? All of that is very important. It's basically an order form. So the more complete information you get on that, the better that your product is going to be. You're going to get it in a timely manner. It's going to get paid for in a timely manner. Another part of that is receiving. Once you actually receive your goods physically, then you also need to go into Eden and make a receiving record there. That ensures timely payment. If the auditor's office receives an invoice, but Eden doesn't show that that product has been received, then they're not going to release payment until it does. So all of that matters in the process. And if you have questions about that, we'll give you the opportunity for questions later. I've already introduced myself. This is my entire staff. Rick is our newest member. He's the buyer for the highway department. Previously, that position was housed at the highway department, but just this year we have centralized purchasing now. So we have all of the buyers in our office. Shelly Williamson is our contract specialist. And I'm going to go to Miriam first. We're going by seniority. So Miriam is a buyer 3. She's been with the purchasing department the longest of any of these staff members. She does anything and everything law enforcement. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about what she does.
I'm Mary Minter, buyer 3. Been with the county almost 12 years, but purchasing about 6.5. Jail and sheriff, anything they need, from office supplies to inmate clothing, inmate supplies, the vehicles that the sheriffs use. We also do surplus. So when a vehicle goes out of commission, we go in front of the commission, we get their okay, and we try and sell it to recoup some money for the county. It all goes into a big circle that we all work towards. Um, if you get questions, if you submit a requisition, you get questions from me. I am very particular. I love to save a penny.
She does. She's passionate about saving money.
I do. Um, also, if you submit something from Amazon, we need the ASIN number. That's a really big key for us to be able to go in and research, to where if we can't find it, then we can go back to you and be like, hey, this ASIN is not available, but this is similar. Is that okay? Just different things like that help. We do a lot of bidding processes, jail food, the internet software that they use for the inmates, vehicles. A lot of that stuff is on cooperative, but a lot of it isn't. So when submitting a bid, something to do also, we need specifics. You guys are the experts in regards to what you guys want. We get that for you. So the more specific you are in regards to what you want, what you need, that helps us be able to write the bid specs better. And helps us go out for bid and get more responses from vendors versus getting a portion of what you guys want, going out for bid, and then, oh, I need this. No, it's supposed to be this. Then we have to kind of delay the process a little bit, do an addendum, possibly extend the bid opening, I should say. But cover everything.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Mayor. If you really think about what it takes to operate a jail, she's not kidding. I mean, from staff to the inmates, there are so many supplies and items that they need, things you wouldn't even think of. Pharmaceuticals, they got to be fed every day. They need uniforms. Staff needs uniforms. Weapons, ammunition, vehicles, canines, just so many variables. And Miriam is on top of it all. Thank you, Miriam. Next, we're going to hear from Shelly Williamson. She is our contract specialist. Shelly?
I manage and I track over 250 contracts that are upcoming for annual renewal. I also monitor any of those that are nearing expiration to determine if we need to go out for rebid for those contracts. I also do cooperative contracts that have already been bidded and awarded through Sourcewell, Missouri Buys, Omnia, and NASPO. Cooperative contracts help us to piggyback off of them in order for us to purchase products and services to where we don't have to go out for bid. I also order supplies for RIS department and OEM and central supply, microfilming, and court IT and juvenile. And I'm also, I back up everybody on my team, and I'm a backup for Laura in her absence as well. So the cooperative contracts is really helpful, and as Mary mentioned, it's real important too when they have to go out for bid. The bid specs is so important for us to know exactly what we need and how to try to word it, because you guys are the specialists in that area. So that's what I do.
Thank you, Shelly. Both of the ladies have made reference to go out for bid or bid. And a lot of you know what that is, but just to clarify, anytime we spend more than $12,000 with any one particular vendor, that acquisition requires advertising and formal bidding, which means that we have to actually solicit these bids. We have a document that goes out to particular vendors, which defines all the specifications. Very often there's a contract included. And that ensures competitiveness as far as looking for the best price. They have to submit their bids by a particular deadline, and then they're opened publicly. Everything is very transparent because, again, we're spending tax dollars, and that's a goal, to be transparent and responsible. So, and I said 12,000. The fact is, if we even get close to that 12,000, very often we're still going to solicit bids. Even if we don't advertise and do a formal bid process, we're still out there looking for the best price whenever we're spending a sizable amount of money. So just something to keep in mind. Next, we're gonna hear from Leah Avers. Leah? Leah's new to the purchasing department, somewhat new. She's been here over a
Yes.
year now, right? Is it
Yes,
a
year and a half,
Okay.
buyer two, but I was here from 95 to 205 or 2005 and then had my twins and then came back. So I love this place, I guess. So
We all do.
yes, we do. And some of us are short timers. So I take care of resource management. I have to read this off because I
Why
can't
not right there, whatever.
resource management, environmental, assessor's office, collector, courts, county clerk, election center, and building operations. And building operations is the big one for me because it's pretty involved with the janitorial, the daily maintenance, emergency purchases, inventory items, repair parts, as well as getting the equipment and materials needed for the projects throughout the county. While we all up here have departments that we take care of, we're a team. So if you need anything, any of us can do it.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. And last but not least, Rick Adams. He's the highway buyer.
I've been with Green County. I'm Rick Adams. Been with the county about 4 months now. So
Yep.
I brought my cheat sheet.
Very nice.
We need cheat sheets.
But I'm buying for the highway department. They buy a variety of goods and services. We turn the requisition process like Laura was talking about earlier. Once that all comes through all the approvals and everything, I convert that to purchase orders and take care of the Eden paperwork. Highway department buys various items like box culverts and pipe, metal pipe, plastic pipe, concrete pipe for stormwater projects, and also like asphalt, salt for the roads, sand and other aggregates, and vehicles, dump trucks, and every kind of vehicle over there. Traffic paint, and then down to shop supplies and little things, and diagnostic softwares as well. So that's for vehicle purchases. We do, we take care of the paperwork and the title and add it to the insurance policy and all that. I guess a lot of things I take care of, like the people, the employees over there at the highway department when they go to their conferences and things and get the motel rooms and all that lined up. That got dropped on me right just immediately. The ACTO conference was like, I forgot what it was now, 40 something rooms, and trying to keep all that straight. And so a big part of the job is also keeping up with the expiration dates, like Shelley was referring to on the contracts, and keeping those, keeping going out for rebid or seeing if they'll extend them, and just basically keeping track of all that stuff. Trying to think of what else. When we do go out for bid, of course we do everything, set up all the Eden work, the request for bids, solicit the vendors, and set up the bid opening meeting, open the bids publicly, all that. We do some contracts like salt or sand or asphalt, things like that. We award multiple contracts a lot of times because when we need it, we need it. So a lot of times we do multiple awards. I don't know what else to say.
Good job.
I will elaborate a little bit on about what Rick said. Those types of supplies that he's talking about, like the salt, asphalt, those are things that you need it when you need it. So we do these bids ahead of time and get these contracts in place. If we have a contract, then we've already done the formal bid process. So we can just call up a vendor and we've got a guaranteed price, a contract, so to speak. And we have terms and conditions that ensure they're going to show up and bring us what we need when we need it, so we're not in a bind. Now, sometimes we do get in a bind. We don't have a contract because something very unexpected happens, especially with building maintenance. And so we can do an emergency procurement in that case. That is allowed by statute. So we said all that to say this. The way to get what you need is start with a requisition. Just start with a requisition. We get calls every day. Well, I need to get this, and this. What do I need to do? Put in a requisition. It's an order form. It's coming straight to my desk that way. We're going to source it. We're going to know if we already have a contract. And if we don't, then we're gonna get those quotes. by the way, if you've done your research and you know exactly what you want, be sure to attach those quotes to the requisition in Eden. If you don't have that capability, you can always just email it to one of us. Those quotes help us immensely too. That protects us and it protects the vendor. You get exactly, you know what you're spending, and it's all pretty much a guarantee. And it ensures the whole process, everything goes smoother. So, any questions? Justin.
Could you describe your ideal process for the hotel rooms? And Rick brought that up. Is that something that you want to start with the requisition? Is that something that you want people to go and make the booking themselves and then let you know? Or do you like to handle it from the very beginning? You like to book it and everything? What's the ideal process?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. Ideally, we do want to see a requisition. That requisition is there. It's a permanent record. You're going to track your spending that way. We're going to track, what vendor we used, what the dates were. Everything is going to be on that requisition. We're going to send it through the auditor's office for approval. Rick got everything dumped in his lap, and it was really very, very confusing. Once that requisition gets approved and we have a purchase order, then ideally I would like to give you that purchase order and let you contact the hotel, because the hotel asks a lot of questions. And you're going to know what
Smoking,
type of
non-smoking, king
yeah,
bed, queen
what
bed.
size bed, all of that. You're going to know that. But we would like to have that requisition, because then we have prior approval, so that when the invoice comes in, boom, you match it up with the purchase order and it gets paid in a timely manner. If the auditor's office receives an invoice out of the blue with no prior knowledge, guess what? It gets to sit on somebody's desk unpaid until all of the questions get answered. So there's a whole lot of unnecessary delay. Just plan ahead. Plan ahead, put in the requisitions, get a purchase order. Even if you prefer to place the order yourself, we all need to know about it. We need the monies, the spending approved prior to getting an invoice. This makes it all way better. So, any other questions?
Also, if it's a conference, some of the conferences require you to stay at a certain hotel. So put that in the requisition as well. Otherwise, we're gonna probably source out. a
You're
hotel.
gonna save a penny by
Yes.
pushing it across town
I will.
from the conference.
She will do. She'll make you walk.
It makes her crazy when I spend too much for something. Well, you could have got this here. You could have.
They could have all fit in a van.
Yeah,
We could
it really makes her.
Okay.
Cindy.
Laura, could you describe what changes you've seen in procurement over the last 30 years?
Okay, when I first started here, the bidding threshold was $3,000. There were a lot less cooperative contracts, so we were issuing so many bids, so many advertisements, so many bids. It was crazy. Over the years, when we say cooperative contracts, there are agencies out there, organizations who actually go through the bidding process. State of Missouri, we use a lot of theirs. We piggyback. And it's really caught on. There's so many different organizations now. And they issue the contracts, they're online, or they send them to us. And we use those contracts our bidding has significantly been reduced. We don't have to issue that many formal bids anymore. Also, when I started in purchasing, we did paper requisitions in triplicate.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Paper requisitions. We would have stacks like this every morning for the commissions to sit there and sign off on. It was ridiculous. It was fun, I meant. And then we got Eden, which was financial software. And I'm not going to lie, it made me crazy at first. I hated it. I was frustrated. But now I wonder how we ever got along without it. Remember those paper requisitions, Justin?
I do.
He was in the auditor's office then, and he checked our paper requisitions every day for approval. And he was just a kid. I thought he was like 12.
Arrogant.
And arrogant, yes. He would bring our requisitions back to us every day with his little red check marks all over them. Correct me and tell me what I needed to be doing different. Thanks for your patience, Justin. Is there anything else?
What's the absolute craziest, weirdest thing you've ever had to buy? I'm guessing it's probably gonna be for the jail or something like that.
That's a good question. I have to give it some thought. We bought a ton right after 9/11. We bought so much riot gear and things to protect us against weapons of mass destruction. And I don't think any of it ever got used. I think it sat on shelves and it got outdated.
What about
And during COVID,
fraudulent? Oh, yeah.
yeah, during COVID, we had a specification. It was a 3M mask. Supposed to be super protective. I couldn't tell you the specs exactly, but it was state of the art. And Fred bought them $500,000, and we received them. And then later on, I think they were being stored. We hadn't even begun to use them yet. We found out that that particular vendor was being investigated for fraud. So while all of those masks had the 3M label and looked absolutely legitimate, we paid for them. We paid for them. And then we found out they were not. So we never got to use them. I think that investigation is still underway, right? We've never been like reimbursed or
Yeah, not
anything.
yet.
No, it's still. So COVID was a thing.
Stuff during COVID.
Yeah.
Like these filter things that would sanitize the air through UV lights
Mhm.
for the jail. That was for the temp jail a lot. And that was there.
Anyway, I think my time's probably about up. I would like to say congratulations to Dave Odell. He shared with me when he walked in this morning that today is his anniversary. He has been at Greene County for 45 years today.
He also was just 12 when he started.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't look a whole lot older than that now. Thank you all.